All right, starting our final episode for this season in 3, 2, 1.5, 1.5. No, that's the same thing. What am I saying? Anyway, hello and welcome to episode.
I was kind of holding my breath. And you're doing this 1.5 thing. You want me to die before this episode starts only.
No, sorry. I'll start again. Okay.
It won't be season finale. It will be like the last episode ever.
Okay.
If I die.
Let's try that again. 3, 2. What was that sound?
Sorry, I had to. Me breathing in, inhaling.
I thought you were wheezing. Okay. Okay, Jonathan, please cut here and just jump to where we actually start the podcast.
I don't think Jonathan will cut that. We don't pay him enough.
We don't pay him anything, to be fair. Anyway, hello and welcome to episode 20.
We don't earn anything.
Oh my god, when I finally start the theme, the intro, let me start the... Okay, you know what? From here on, silence. Hello and welcome to episode 20 of Project Khichdi. Here we are, the season finale. Wow, it has been quite the season, hasn't it, Robin? Robin?
Permission to speak since you asked for silence.
Oh god. I hate you. Yes, permission granted. From now till the end
Hello
of the
guys,
episode.
I'm Robin.
And then never again. Until season 2.
Oh yes. Well, likewise then. We both will not speak of anything ever again till we get permission
like a vow
to speak.
Of silence, is it?
Vow
it's
of silence, mutually
it's a
signed.
philosophical thing.
No backsies. No backsies.
Yeah. Alright, fine. Challenge accepted. Whoever loses has to buy the other person ice cream.
Fair.
Alright. Anyway, episode 20. We're done with a season of this podcast. It is much more than we ever expected or anticipated. Of course, the hope was to get to this point and be able to look back and reflect and decide what to do next. And initially it was never intended as a season-based podcast. We would just keep putting out episodes, but because of a multitude of factors, I think one, I've got a bit of a big life change happening, and so I need some time off. Robin's also quite occupied with academic stuff at the moment. Lately the last
semester and everything.
Last semester, yeah, and then it's just going forward, and also like even the last month or two has just been a pain. I think in comparison to previous months, just scheduling episodes because we've had ideas, but we just really not had the bandwidth to really push and get them done. Which we really want to like.
Don't worry, nobody will be salty about the season ending because we have already asked them to take it with a pinch of salt.
Yes, nice, good. We brought that back. Yeah, but sorry, I got a bit of a cold. But
did you take some salt water gargles?
You know what? My parents have been pestering me to do this, and I did it, and it tasted horrible. I've ingested more salt, I think, in the last 4 days than I have in the last week. Just by salt water gargling. But yeah. Alright. So, we really didn't have anything planned for this episode aside from reflecting on everything before. We figured this is a good, I guess, segue to the second season whenever it comes out, whenever we get to doing it. We don't have a date for you guys at the moment, but we're hoping to start this sometime late September. Once things have settled down a bit for the both of us and we've like planned out some of the content, but yeah, we just wanted to sit and reflect over the journey so far, and like what it's meant to the both of us, because we started this with zero expectation of who's gonna listen to it, what kind of stuff we talk about. It was just really, we were having these conversations on phone calls, long deep conversations about stuff and music, and we eventually realized, maybe we should just put this on Spotify, kind of as unedited as possible. And yeah, like it's kind of a diary for the both of us to like explore stuff, contemplate life, make stupid puns and dad jokes about salt. There's really been no filter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it's just been a
And
fun ride.
I love like how now that we have been doing this for almost a year, it's like
Yeah.
every episode kind of, when I look at it, it reminds me of the time and context that I was in when I was recording that episode. That, oh, this happened. This was what was going on in my life when I was recording episode 2, for instance, or
Yeah,
episode
it's
3,
like a
and
timestamp.
etc. etc. Truly like a timestamp, truly like a diary entry. And yeah, it's just two close friends having a conversation. That's pretty much what
Yeah, it's just
like
been it.
what I
You know, I'm agreeing
That's
with you.
what?
That's
yeah,
I'm just agreeing with
that's
you.
pretty much what our
Yeah.
idea was.
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, I think the satisfaction for both of us came from having complete episodes. You know, having something sort of recorded and then just up there, whether it was YouTube. Initially, it was Spotify, and then later on, we switched to YouTube. I think that was a good creative decision.
Yeah.
I think YouTube is just more
Yeah.
of a popular platform for I guess videos in general. So, and podcasts also. Spotify, I mean, of course, there is a audience base, but yeah, then definitely YouTube was a smart choice, and we'll definitely keep posting that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Let's backtrack. So, episode 1 of our podcast. I keep saying project in between. I don't know why.
It's
I mean,
okay.
it makes sense.
It's okay.
It
It is a project
but,
as well.
you
Yeah.
know, episode 1 of our podcast was actually, I mean, the final product was actually half of the full conversation we had, right? I think we'd done a 1 hour long conversation, and the
Yeah.
first half was
What the fonk even happened there?
So initially, well, we had multiple revisions actually. So the first iteration of the podcast, I think we've already brought this up before, was actually just about song reviews, and I at the time was like really into, or not say into, I was listening to quite a bit of independent music from India. So I thought, hey, let's start with some songs from the indie scene and just like break them down and talk about them. That went miserably. It was such a one-sided conversation.
No. You're mixing two things. You're mixing two different things.
No.
On the indie music thing was something that we had recorded separately, but it did not work out because it was one-sided.
I was getting
then
that.
we did this. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was getting that. So I was saying that.
Oh, I thought you were talking of episode 1 itself.
No. The initial iteration of the first episode was a different podcast idea entirely, and then we sort of reined it in and thought, what, hey, no, let's just not do scripted episodes. Let's not do song reviews. Let's just talk about something fun. So at the time, Robin
if you think about it, I'm sorry for like butting in right now, but if you think about it, even that's not like our first iteration. Our first iteration was in the pandemic. If you remember.
It was, I think, third wave of, it was January of 2022. I was still doing fourth year in my university, and me and Robin had decided, hey, we want to do a podcast, and we sat down one night to record something, and it turned out to be the most unstructured and like a mess of a conversation.
What was the topic, you remember? Like something about
everything
pop
from music,
with good lyrics or
pop songs
good
with
lyrics
good lyrics, but no, bad lyrics but great music. I think that was the topic, which again, it's a great topic, but we kind of didn't stick to the topic for most of the episode. We started with that topic, and then it went to everything from like music to pop music is just like standardized to copyright stuff to just it was a whole barrage of topics. And I remember my roommate, who's also a close friend of ours, was sitting in the room at the time and just could not make heads or tails of what we were talking about. So we eventually dropped the idea. Then
poor
again,
guy.
like I said, poor fellow. But again, like I said, we dropped the idea. 7 to 8 months later, we tried again. Episode 1 was a failure, didn't work out, and then finally we recorded the first episode, which was "What the Funk Is Going On," which was about funk music. It was actually, like I mentioned, it was a half of a conversation we were having. The first half was about electronic dance music, but that wasn't really interesting. And it was very one-sided conversation. So we decided
before EDM fans jump on us, we are not saying EDM is not interesting. It's just that segment of our...
I will say EDM now is a lot less interesting than it was for me, but that's my opinion. I grew up listening to it when I was 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. So
you really want us to get banned, don't you?
Come on, man. We gotta have some drama.
This is a season finale. Let me remind you, our podcast is not ending.
So this is a good cliffhanger to leave people on. Leave them in that, state of mind to lash back at us, and then we can surprise them in season 2. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, basically that episode was comeback story. Yeah. Basically that episode was half of a 2-topic conversation, and then the last 30 minutes ended up becoming the first episode of Project Khichdi, which, based on some math I did, I actually put all the viewership the listenership info on an Excel sheet, and interestingly, episode 1 has performed the best. Nearly 100 listens across both YouTube and Spotify, which is great actually. But yeah.
Now you should make a funk track to commemorate this achievement.
Yeah, it's on the bucket list. I'll just add it to the list of things I've planned to do, but will probably not get to for at least a few years. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, episode 1, we had no outlook as to what to expect. We really jumped across topics, haven't we, Robin? We did everything from looking at artist drama, like full artist reviews, looking at genre switches, looking at genres of music, looking at
talking about like writer's block.
We really covered a bunch of different things.
Random stuff as picking superior to finger picking, or finger picking superior to picking.
There was also a whole conversation about dosa and biryani, which I remember we covered as well.
Dosa, biryani, that was picking and not picking.
Same episode. Nothing related to music, but it was an important conversation we had.
Covering a court case, talking about figuring out music by yourself or getting an instructor. So many, like, quite glad that, like, we really were pretty experimental in the first season. Like, anything goes, just whatever topic. Even like,
and I think and I think that's the goal. I think was really just to try as many things as possible. And it's really helped us sort of narrow down what works. I mean, for, I guess, the people that listen to our podcast and what doesn't. It's a very wide and broad audience, and that's intentionally so. Obviously, we're still trying to hone in on, I guess, our thing, but we still want to keep doing weird, wacky stuff. So with that in mind, I mean, we've done all kinds of things. So kind of taking that, looking at the feedback, which I mean has been generally positive, to be honest. Obviously, we're not huge yet. We still got a long way to go in terms of growth. So want to stay humble and sort of realistic. But I mean, looking at the data so far, and it's clear that some of the more niche topics we picked are not necessarily palatable to a larger audience. We've done some more technical stuff, which has had some mixed results. Like, I think episode 5 has done pretty decently. That was pretty technical because it really just looked at pitch change as a concept. You had episode 4, which was completely about an entire genre of music, and that did really well. That's actually our that's actually our second best episode. And then you have episode 11, which was again about Denpa music and one particular song, which also did quite well. So, but on the other hand, again, episode 19, our last episode, which was about film music, not so popular. So I mean, there's really a wide variety of responses we're getting, and I think if we were to take this as kind of a general sort of data set for what works and what doesn't work, I think season 2 we should really double down on doing more wacky, interesting stuff. I think there's definitely sorry, I have a cold, so I'm coughing, but I think there's definitely an audience for more niche stuff. Of course, like, I think we did have fun with some of the more, I'd say, pop culture focused ones. For example, episode 13 was such a spontaneous idea, and frankly,
we all both wore our competitive hats and just like sort of belted ourselves.
My pitch skills.
Punishment of which still is yet to come out, so stay tuned.
I know.
You're sorry for delaying it so much.
we will post that for sure. But yeah, I think taking all this, season 2, I think, in my opinion, should be, I think, a lot more of everything, and just really kind of delving into each one as much as possible to find out, what's just really doing cool topics. No matter whether it's more film music, whether it's this cool thing about pitch or another aspect of music that may not be as popularly talked about, or yeah, just
Or
I
even
don't know,
like as
maybe
one of your friends suggested, like discovering songs like other than like sort of talking about songs other than English or Hindi songs, like
for sure. Yeah, I
looking at
think
like
yeah,
songs from other cultures
cultures.
besides
I
the ones
think
that we are familiar with.
for sure. I think Bollywood is also due for an episode. We
Oh
should
yeah, yeah.
definitely. We had planned some things, but again, due to logistical and practical reasons, we haven't been able to do them. But I think down the line,
It's all for second season. All for when the
for
time
sure.
comes.
Yeah. So maybe we'll do this, right? I think we'll put up a poll on Insta and also on this podcast. Like, let us know what you all want to see. Do you want to see shorter episodes? Because I think realistically, going forward, we may end up shifting just even shorter episodes than 30 minutes, maybe like 15 minutes or something like that, depending on time and such. Do you want to see more YouTube style content, which is 8 to 10 minute videos or even 15-minute videos where we do one topic and it's basically a YouTube video in podcast format? Or do you want to see slightly lengthier ones, where it's we delve deep into something and give you some
I
interesting
guess
insights?
that will be our poll for today.
Yeah, that'll be the poll. So
And
when we're editing, we'll put it up. But yeah,
yeah.
I think so. I mean, one feedback I've gotten right from a friend is, of course, with regard to audience, like there's definitely a niche audience that enjoys technical stuff a lot, like especially aspiring producers, like myself, right, who are like really kind of trying to find their sound and trying to make a name for themselves. So I mean, some of the technical stuff, so plugin related stuff, or the software related stuff that we do, the demos and everything really help, I guess. On the other hand, I think for the wider audience, doing more, I guess, trendy stuff or more culturally relevant, like episode 16, the Kantara. The Kantara and Thaikuram case was a unique episode because legal stuff is not our domain. So to jump into that and really give kind of a musician's perspective was interesting. So I think I guess the conclusion for me is just do a bit of everything, a bit more of everything in more depth. What do you think, Robin?
In that way, yeah, I guess like and like that's pretty much what we have already been doing, and it's pretty much what we enjoy doing as well, which is like not having like a very scripted notion of what we are supposed to do, but rather just jumping around topics and just like sort of doing things on the basis of what feels right. And like
Yeah.
actually speaking of what feels right, I kind of had like one question to you, which I will also answer before we move on to like the next segment of this episode, which is how do you feel that like as a musician you have like sort of grown with this podcast?
I think so, definitely. So, conveniently, this podcast has come around a time when I'm discovering a new bit of music software, and also like genre-wise and stylistically, I'm also changing a lot. So, doing episodes like episode 4, 5, even 19, where I broke down film songs, it really helps because I get to break these down and learn techniques that I otherwise wouldn't know. It's also made me more interested in sound design. I think initially my interests were more on the line of songwriting, but I think lately just fiddling with a synthesizer or trying to I was showing Robin the other day, I tried to make a rock song without actually using guitars, like played guitars, like using
Yeah, that was so accurate. That was so accurate.
thank you,
dude.
thank you. Maybe I'll share that on Instagram
Yeah.
as well.
Share
But
that, please. Like
yeah.
those distortion guitars that you mixed, it sounded as if it were played. I couldn't believe that you actually
Yeah,
played that on
and
MIDI.
it took a lot of editing, but I mean, yeah, there's a lot of that stuff I've been trying to do lately, which has really been really fun, and it's less, it's less pressure also because it's just messing around with something and coming up with an idea, right? So I think definitely, I think there's been growth in terms of finding my sound. I know it's been similar for you, Robin, as well.
Yeah, so like now with the podcast, obviously, because now we have to like sort of we have this almost like a, even though it's not like a strict deadline, but still like a sort of weekly like unsaid sort of plan that we have always, that like weekly we'll be releasing episodes. So
Yeah.
find myself thinking a lot more about the kind of music I listen to. I am more sort of attuned to like if there's some music in the background and like what's going on with that, in the sense like almost like as if my brain's auto scanning for more ideas, more like interesting ideas that like sort of we can
Anomaly
um
detected. And then I was like, anomaly detected.
What is the anomaly?
I don't know, something you said listening. You said paying attention to stuff in sound. So I just thought.
Yeah. My brain does the anomaly detected, and after that, the anomaly is dissected and addressed and X-rayed in
like a frog in biology class.
Yeah, it's just like sort of making me more curious as a person, I feel. And even like when it comes to musically speaking, like episode 6, the both of us, even though we kind of did it like we did it like as a joke, because like we were talking about how like we were talking of artists changing their genres, and so we were just like, we will also
So we
now
wrote an entire rap song.
jump out of our comfort zone and make a rap song. And like I never thought that I would, let alone rap, but even like sort of put out like a like a rap track. And you also like for the first time sort of added like instrumentation and made it like a rap / R&B. For reference, we are talking about episode 6 here.
Which is about in which we looked at different artists like John Mayer, Charlie Puth, and I think Jacob Collier. No, was it? No.
And Taylor Swift also.
Taylor Swift. We looked at Taylor Swift.
Not Jacob Collier.
Sorry. Yeah. No. We used Jacob Collier as a comparison point for Charlie Puth, but we basically looked at what if these artists were different versions of themselves, and like Rob mentioned, somehow we ended up writing a rap song. And I don't know, even despite the fact that it's a rap song and rap tends to be a slightly more stripped down genre, I still ended up making this elaborate electronic track, which was super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if I ever do rap, that's something I want to do going forward. But glad to see it's also had an impact on you. And we honestly hope this podcast has also been had some impact on you guys, listeners, as well. Because I mean, again, I know we are nowhere near the level of the Joe Rogan podcast or any other Made in India or any of these other
big
huge
podcasts out there. Yeah.
But we really do, for whoever listens to our stuff, we really hope that at some level it's either entertaining or educational or both. Ideally both, but we just hope it's been
and like
great
at
for
least
you.
and at least like from our side we can say that like your listening sort of makes such a big difference to us as well. Like we feel like immensely grateful for the fact, for anyone who listens to our podcast, and like whoever is listening to us right now like is like the true OGs, I would say. Like who have sort of been with us since the beginning,
Seriously,
so,
thanks so much for sticking around. It means a lot that
big thank you.
20 episodes later we still have an audience. We figured that 2 random guys talking about music would turn people away, but great to see that people are following us. So I guess on that note, I think that's a good time to segue into a quick, we had a little idea we wanted to do. We wanted to sort of quickly rank some of the episodes we've made on a bunch of absolutely arbitrary categories we came up with last minute.
Some categories are objective, but most of them
some
are
objective, but most of them are arbitrary, as you shall come to see. We also have a bit of a surprise. I know in the previous episode we advertised, and I hopefully also in some of the promo for this episode, we advertised a little bit of a surprise. So stay tuned to the end to hear what that turned out to be. But let's quickly go through the awards. Robin, I will let you take the role of MC. Go for it.
Even though I don't have a cold, I felt like doing that.
Jonathan, insert drum roll. Now. I'm assuming you did it. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, I don't think he will. I think we don't pay him enough. I mean, like, you got to explain to him that we don't earn anything ourselves. So, like, he can't be salty about it. Ask him to take it with a pinch of salt. Anyway, moving on.
Go on. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, we have, like, a beautiful list of awards sort of lined up here.
We'll call it the Cheta Awards because...
Cheta Awards, like
the Cheta Awards, yes. Go for it.
Cheta, that's how.
Or the Khichdi Awards, you can do both.
Khichdi Awards, Cheta Awards.
Cheta's Khichdi Awards. There you go. See, I combined the two. You saw what I did there?
CK, CantKreate.
Ooh, the CK. Yeah, CK Awards, done.
CK
that
Awards.
Sounds very formal though. You know what? Anyway, it's okay. The CK CantKreate /
No, PK Awards. PK Awards. Project Khichdi
PK.
Awards.
Sorry. It's not... Yeah, my bad. No, I was thinking Cheta Khichdi. That's why CK.
Yeah. Actually, please help me with this. I guess both of us are making a khichdi out of this MC.
As usual.
Um,
Anyway,
as usual.
introducing
But, like, yeah.
Robin, our super cool MC for this award show, the Cheta Project Khichdi Awards, whatever it's called. But Robin, take it away.
All right. So I'll just like sort of go through the. Should I go through the arbitrary list, or should I just like sort of
Just
go through
like
each?
pick like the best ones we have, and then just like list the awards, and then we can like just announce the awards. You know, we have to make sure this doesn't turn out to be the Oscars. Like it can't be a 3 hour long ceremony because they're not just follow the sleeve. So just
all right.
list out
And
the
I
awards.
guess
and then we can,
some reflection. I guess some reflection is in order as well. So first I'll read out what I mentioned was like objective awards, like which are based on objective metrics. So like it won't. So the longest episode that we have released spans to almost an hour and 22 minutes, which was episode 3. The episode we did sort of about
cartoons. That was a long episode. Even we were like we were dead after that recording. It went late into the night. We never did something that long again. But it was fun. It was a fun episode.
Yeah.
I think maybe if we chopped it up into smaller bits, it would have been we could have done part 1 and a part 2. But yeah,
we should have.
Next one.
Actually, yeah. Next one is the shortest episode, obviously, which comes next. Shortest episode, which is episode 14,
the AI
which
question.
only spans rough. The AI question, where we used actually let people check that episode out. But that episode spans to like 15 minutes, so it's not that long.
14
it's actually
minutes,
the shortest one.
Yeah, shortest one.
14, not even 15 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty.
That's oddly consistent.
Yeah, for season 2, I guess we'll have more shorter episodes. I guess not like 15 minutes, but maybe not as long as 30 minutes.
Yeah,
also.
we'll see. We'll see where it works. It depends on a bunch of factors. But anyway,
okay. Now
next,
I guess these were the only two. Oh no, there are some more objective awards, which is the most streamed episode, as Aditya had already revealed, is the pilot episode. The episode 1. Episode 1 also gets the pilot award because it was like the first episode.
Like, does it need an award for that? I feel like it's just like if at all that's an award, you kind of get it by default.
By default, never mind. That's true. Then the least streamed episode award goes to episode 18. Guys, please check it out.
Guys, please go check out. Go give 18 some love. It was a bit of a unique format we did, but it's a good episode. Interestingly, so I have I have an Excel sheet open here, and I can see how many views it has. It has, combined on both YouTube and Spotify, 18 listens totally, which I find interesting, really nice and consistent. But like, seriously, guys, go check it out. Go. We have faith in you. Please. Thank you.
Yeah. Since we are on topic of episode 18, episode 18 also qualified for another award, which is the heaviest episode that we have written. Yeah. In the sense that it's actually a pretty... Yeah. And I was wearing my therapist hat, even though it was like a mock therapy session, but like it was still like very real themes were discussed, so it got pretty heavy. And I guess that's... And since we talked about the heaviest episode, naturally the next award will be for like in our opinion was the most light-hearted episode, which again goes to episode 14, which is the AI question.
Yeah, that was honestly the amount of effort. It's also the episode. Is it the least effort? Is it the least effort episode?
No, it isn't. It isn't.
Sorry.
Since you brought that up, the least effort award goes to episode 12, which is what you're listening to. We just talk about what we are listening to.
Yeah, I think that's a series I want to continue. So maybe season 2 you see some of that. Yeah. I like that. Next. And
now since we talked about least effort, we'll talk about the most effort.
Episode 5. I did 3 demos.
Pitchy.
And 3 compositions, 3 demos.
And I recorded myself playing the classical guitar piece that was pitched up and pitched down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so... Yeah, a lot of effort, especially even for you to have like mixed so much of stuff to make sure that it all works out. Episode 5, and that to episode 5, we were still doing a long format, so it was like pretty long.
Yeah.
A random PETA award goes to episode 17.
Yeah, Peter will be very happy with the animal episode.
The animals episode. Yeah. And now for the more controversial awards. Yeah. So Aditya's gold star, which is Aditya's favorite episode. If it was an interactive, then I would have asked our audience to guess, but
Jonathan
okay.
had some like ooh sounds of crowd,
Ooh,
just like
yeah.
being interested. Yeah, like add it now.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna add it.
Let's just give up. Sorry, Jonathan. I'm so sorry for not paying you.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Well,
so my gold star is episode 16.
Yeah.
And the reason it's episode 16
yes,
is because it's such... I have the doc open in front of me. So I'm cheating.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
We both are the hosts.
Yes. So, I mean, my gold star, I guess the best episode I think we've done is, I think, 16. I mean, I pick it not because it's technically like there's no demos. There's no elaborate musical analysis beyond the one song we talk about. But it's got that it's kind of out of our comfort zone. I personally like the way we handled it and talked about it, and it's nice because it's such an interesting legal case. You don't really see that many copyright cases in India, like this, for example. This is literally the first one I've heard of. Most of the ones that are like this, I've heard of in the US and in UK and a lot of European countries, but never in India. So it was really fun to sit down and like put on our lawyer hats and kind of figure out who's in the right, who's in the wrong. Of course, with
you liked this episode enough to... In fact, this idea was in your mind previously also. You even like sort of made it like a part of some NGO program that you were making.
I mentioned this in the episode. Yeah, I was basically writing lesson plans for music, and I wanted to include something about, indie music, and this sort of just came up as a case study because I did a lesson on copyright, and it was so fun doing it. So yeah, that's my gold star. Robin, I'm going to read yours because I know what it is. Okay. And it's episode 10. And I actually didn't like this episode as much, even though it was our 10th episode.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. The thing is, I like episode 10 so much is because since like sort of we already mentioned that the very idea of Project Khichdi came from the late night conversations that Aditya and I used to have about like just random stuff in music. And like, a lot of times the conversations would flow so naturally that like Aditya or me, like you just say that, oh, this shit should be in a podcast. So episode 10 kind of for me, because of how organic the conversation was, again, just like the
closest thing.
Just like Aditya's pick, it does not have any, like we have not streamed any fancy stuff, any composition, any production related stuff, or we have not done any spicy things there. It's just two people talking about like a very relevant topic in music, and it's, I think, one of the most sober conversations that we have had in like in the duration of this entire season. And I think it's something like, I guess, even in terms of the amount of information it provides, I think it's a pretty good episode, and it's a pretty, like, in my opinion, it has the potential to start a lot of conversations. So it was a nice
deep dive. I'll give it that.
Yeah. And now the reason why I interrupted Aditya is because now here's the next award, Aditya's black sheep. So like how in every family there is a black sheep, and how because Project Khichdi is our baby and like all these episodes are our babies. So who is Aditya's black sheep? Would you want to announce this one?
Yeah, it's interestingly for the Black Sheep Awards, the episodes are reversed. So my Black Sheep is actually 10 because, well, of course it was an engaging conversation. For me, it just lacked the gravitas of the other ones. So for me, it's a bit of a Black Sheep, but it doesn't mean it's a bad episode. It was a cool thing. But yeah, and then interestingly, Robin's Black Sheep is episode 16 because, I mean, outside of it being just a cool, interesting comparison, like musical comparison, the legal aspect, I don't think it excited you that much, did it, Robin?
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah, it genuinely was not planned. It was so like the fact that, like, my gold star is his black sheep and his gold star is my black sheep. We laughed about it when this happened.
Consistency is baffling.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I felt like while it was good that we were like comparing songs and all, like, yeah, I didn't per se connect with the legal stuff. And like, I felt like, at least for that episode, like, I did not have, like that much to like even say, like, in the sense that I didn't have that many opinions on that topic.
No, I think you gave some nice ones. I think the only thing you struggled with in that episode is the pronunciation of the song names.
Pronunciations. Oh yeah, that's actually a good segue to our next award. Award for most
Yeah.
mispronunciation also goes to episode
Episode
16.
16,
So many
Robin,
big-
congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kantara, Kantra, Kantra.
Okay, okay, we get it. We get it, okay?
Tell you what.
When life
we
gives you
have-
lemons, I tell you. Speaking
Oh.
of lemon
I
award.
tell you what, before we do the next set of awards, let's pick. We are slightly short on time, so let's pick 2 more awards, and then we'll switch to our surprise.
Well, I've already announced the lemon award, which goes to episode lemon.
Episode 11, so that's one
Okay.
more. One last award.
No. We have 2 awards.
Oh, now it's okay, fine, great. 2 more awards. Let's go.
Okay, so unique format. As I mentioned,
That we said no. 18.
No, but it also goes to episode 13 because that was like
yeah,
the only.
correct.
It's the only episode where the hosts, that is Aditya and I, were competing against each other. Like in all other episodes, we are like, so to say, in one team, and we are like, sort of
Yeah.
adding
I'm
on
still
to each other's
baffled.
sentences, making this conversation organic. But we
Yeah.
go head to head in episode 13. It's a very competitive episode.
I'm still
so do
amazed
check
you
it out.
beat me. I was so confident I'd win that. It's just, I'm amazed. I learn things about you
thank
every
you.
day, Robin.
And I will give you
Finally.
the privilege of announcing
Picking the-
what? Finally, what?
Or picking the last award, is it? I gotta say, what's that?
Yeah.
Okay, so episodes we couldn't be bothered to give awards to. I think that's a nice one.
Hey, what is this?
These are no.
All
Wait,
the
no,
awards you
hold
could
on.
pick from.
Yeah,
What is
because
this?
here's the thing. See, these episodes are good episodes. Though, for clarity, I'm talking about episode 7, where we talk about picking styles. Episode 8, we talk about writer's block rant. And
Episode 7 was picking versus no picking. What is this picking styles?
Picking. Okay. You could pick with your fingers also. No, finger picking.
Oh, like that. Okay, fine. Sorry, I got confused.
Chumma. Sorry. No. Okay, anyway. So episode 7, which is about picking versus not picking. Episode 8, which is about a writer's block. And episode 15, which is about our experience being in a band. Those episodes weren't...
That was like
didn't
your
have much
first live sort of
performance.
experience.
Yeah,
for...
so it was just... Yeah.
No, actually, no. You have performed live before. Sorry.
I have, no, but I haven't done it outside of college. This was like a first gig type thing. So it was really fun, really fun episode. But again, these 3 didn't really have the gravitas, nor did they have any demos. It was kind of just us talking. They're good episodes.
Oh, but
maybe
to
not
be
our
fair,
favorites.
in episode 7, we did play a little bit. Like, both of us were sitting with our guitars. I guess that's the only episode where
that's the
both of
only-
us
it
were
was
sitting
live.
with our guitars.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it didn't have the.
It wasn't live in the sense that, like, we were still recording from our own respective rooms.
Yeah.
But
No, but it didn't have any particularly, like, usually we dedicate sections of the episode to play or demonstrate certain things. It didn't have any of that. It was pure conversation, kind of like episode 10, but not as deep, So they're good episodes, but we didn't really know where to fit them, like what categories to put them in for awards. So we were just lazy, so we came up with the name, which was episodes we couldn't be bothered to give awards to. And that's the award.
yeah. No. I don't know. I guess the more keen listeners / those who have listened to more of our episodes, who know the general structure of our episodes, may have noticed that we did not play the theme song yet. Aditya, do you think we are ready?
I think we're ready. Yeah, I think we can
Yeah.
bestow upon our listeners the marvelous creation that is version 3.3.6. That was a completely arbitrary number, but yeah, this is a special version of the theme song which combines a lot of the different individual, like, we have a lot of iterations of it, a lot of demos we tried, a lot of ideas we pitched for the theme song that have come together into one song for your listening pleasure. So what I'm going to do now,
You can think of this as like the OG theme song, because it's like the full version
it's got everything.
of the
It's-
snips. Yeah,
it's
the
Khichdi
full
is
version
what
of
it
the
is.
snippets that you've been hearing. Yeah, it's the full version
it
of the
is
snippets.
the Khichdi
Stitch.
Yeah,
It is the
the
final
Khichdi,
final
the Khichdi
climax
stitch,
of
Khichdi theme.
this is what the
Yeah,
universe wanted to happen.
I
This was what it
swear.
was all for. The
Yes, that's
khichdi
what we.
served to you at the end of the
Yeah,
season with seasoning.
indeed, indeed. So yeah, here is our surprise theme. So interesting fact, we actually met up in person. Robin came to my house and we recorded a video. So if you are watching this on YouTube, then you shall be seeing a video in just a few short moments. But if you're listening to it on, if you're listening to the episode on Spotify, don't worry, we've also uploaded a video there. And even if you can't see it, honestly, just switch over to YouTube and check it out there. It was really fun. First time we've jammed in person in a while, and like I said, we both had classical guitars, and it was a whole fun little recording. But here it is, our randomly stitched together version of the Project Khichdi theme song. We hope you enjoyed. Okay, finally for the hopefully the last time.
Take it with a pinch of salt.
3, 2, 1, and.
I don't know. I don't know. Should I hit that?
Yeah. And yeah, so that was a nice fun rendition of our theme song that we put together on a whim, using parts that we came up with before. Yeah,
Honestly, for as much as we call this a khichdi, actually
it came
sounds
together
like a
well.
very well put together. Like it sounds more like we already had this full version.
Yeah.
And like, to be honest, in some rendition of it we did, but then also, like, it took, like, when we met together, it took a little bit of like stitching it all together in sort of interesting ways.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, and it's the evolution of the theme song in itself is quite interesting, because like very initially, like, it was me who had come up with like the background guitars and like the melody for it, and then afterwards Aditya came up with like an additional, like not just the punk rock theme, but within the punk rock theme he added like a new twist to, like, sort of a new twist to the melody. So we sort of incorporated both of these approaches
Yeah.
into this one stitched together song, and
Yes.
I absolutely love how it has come out.
Same. I
So
genuinely
yeah,
like it. So
I genuinely hope that you all like it too.
on that note, thanks so much for sticking with us for one season. We really hope you enjoyed everything
Yeah,
we've done.
truly grateful.
Do let us
Truly
know what
grateful.
you'd like to see in the next season and what you've thought about our podcast so far. Your feedback will mean everything to us. So yeah, go ahead, comment, like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever else you could do on the internet. Thanks so much for sticking around. We'll see you guys next season. Goodbye.
Bye bye.